Today, we're going to be talking about 5 signs that you can get your ex back. But first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great, loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you're not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by hitting that thumbs up button for this channel. And if you're new here, think about subscribing down below so you can get more videos like this when we publish them. Okay, so what are 5 signs that you can get your ex back? You know, I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this since 2009, and I've seen a lot of people in a lot of different situations. I mean, a lot of different situations. I could tell you some pretty crazy stories, actually. But I've noticed a few common things that kind of tell me if somebody can get back together or not. So we're going to go over those today. First one is that you are in contact with your ex. They haven't blocked you. They haven't walled you out. They're not like refusing to talk to you or anything like that. You know, it's one thing if you're doing like no contact or active no contact or passive no contact or radio silence or whatever people are calling it these days. I mean, it's all more or less the same thing unless it's active no contact. But that's a side point. If you have the ability to communicate with your ex will respond to you, then that means you can get your ex back, okay? It's going to be a long and very difficult situation if your ex has blocked you, if they refuse to talk to you because they hate you so much or something like that. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's just going to be a completely different conversation we're going to be having and a completely different route that we're going to have to take, okay? If your ex is non-communicative to you, it doesn't mean you can't get back together with your ex. It just might not be able to happen right now until they're able to work through some of their emotions and feelings and let go of some of the hurt that they're holding on to, okay? So keep that in mind. That's the first sign that you can get your ex back, is if they're open and willing to talk to you, okay? The second sign that you can get your ex back is if you're willing to make some changes in how you bring yourself to interacting with them and how you bring yourself to the relationship and all of that. You know, I know that we're all supposed to say, oh yeah, you know, but what about them? They weren't perfect in the relationship either. And of course, yeah, that's a conversation we can have at some other point in time. But right now, they don't want to be in a relationship with you, and you want to be in a relationship with them. So we have to work on what we can control, which is you and how you're going to bring yourself to the relationship with them. So if you're willing to make some changes to improve the dynamic between you and your ex, then we've got something to work with, and we can move forward, and we can make something happen here, okay? That's something else to consider as well, too. The third sign that you can get your ex back is if you're willing to initiate things. Now, again, your ex doesn't necessarily want to be in a relationship with you right now, and you want to be in a relationship with them, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. So that means that you have to be okay with the idea of initiating things. If you want to change their mind, you have to take the active role here. Usually men are okay with this because in most dating situations, men are kind of expected, for better or worse, to take the initiative with things. Women, on the other hand, not so much. A lot of women that I've worked with have a hard time initiating things. I don't know, it feels like they're doing everything wrong. It's like against the grain of their DNA or something like that. But it's totally okay. It's okay to initiate things. I think there's a big misconception in our society that says that, you know, being feminine is the same as being completely passive. I don't think that that's the case at all. Being feminine is not the same as being passive. Being feminine is about being receptive, and you can absolutely be receptive to things and still be active and still, you know, take initiative. So don't confuse those two things. Definitely not the same things. Be okay with initiating things. If you're not okay with initiating things, if you want to wait for your ex to make the move, it might happen, but I can't make any promises with you on that, okay? Things are going to go a whole lot easier if you are okay to take the initiative and okay to make the move. So that's definitely one of the signs. The next one, number 4, is if you are able to push through hard things. Pretty much all the situations that I have worked with, all the people that I've worked with over the years who have been able to get back together with their exes, they have all, for the most part, had a difficult challenge at some point. It has never been a direct and clear straight line where it's like, okay, do no contact. Okay, great, that worked. Okay, now I'm going to send a text message. Okay, that was great. Now we're going to go on a coffee date. Okay, great. Now we're back together. Wonderful. Like, maybe that happens sometimes. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't, but most of those people don't come to me for help because I imagine it probably works out pretty smoothly. But most people are probably going to have a challenging time along the way. And you have to be able to pull through those challenging times. There's a book I often recommend to people. It's called The Dip. It's by Seth Godin here. You can see the author's name if you want to check that out. But it's a book about when to quit and when to stick it through. And basically the premise, I mean, it's a short little book. You can pick it up and read it. It's only like 80 pages. I'd still recommend it if you're into this sort of stuff. But it basically says that, whenever we're doing anything important to us in life, we hit a certain spot where we stop getting results based off of the effort that we put in. And this is where a lot of people tend to give up. And I don't want you to give up when things get tough. I want you to be able to pull through. So if you are in a dip, then that's the time to actually double down. And what happens is things start to take off in an exponential sort of way, in a positive direction. So that's something that you need to be able to handle emotionally in order to get back together with your ex, is to be able to pull through these difficult, challenging times that come up, these struggles, these setbacks, these things that are going to come up along the way. Let's be honest, it's not always going to be easy. There are going to be hard times when maybe you have an argument, maybe you have a setback, maybe things seem to be going well, but then suddenly something comes out of nowhere and just blindsides you. You have to be willing to push through that if you're going to be able to get back together with your ex. And the fifth sign that you can get back together with your ex is if you're able to shift from being relationship focused to being connection focused. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so people come to me, and probably other people online too, other coaches online, because they want to get back together with their ex. They want the outcome of being in a relationship with their ex again. And I totally get that. But if that is how you're interacting with your ex, as if like, okay, I have this goal of getting back together with you, what's it going to take for this to happen? Then what's happening many times is that you're often overlooking your ex's emotional state, your ex's emotional concerns, your ex's frustrations, fears, worries, anxieties, all of these sorts of things. And if your ex starts to think of themselves as like, okay, you just see me as a means to an end to get to being in a relationship again, then that's not going to feel good for them. They're going to think that you're just using them and they just happen to be this warm body that's there so that you can tick the box of being in a relationship, so you can tick the box of being back together, so you can tick the box of being married again or something like that. And that doesn't feel good. And so what you want to do is you want to shift your focus from being outcome focused towards actually being connection focused. That means prioritizing understanding where your ex is at on an emotional level, prioritizing empathizing with them, prioritize listening to their concerns, prioritize understanding what their concerns are, and all of these sorts of things. And when that happens, the organic connection will start to get stronger. And as that organic connection starts to get stronger, the most obvious thing in the world is going to happen, which is going to be that both of you start thinking, it feels really good to interact with you right now. Maybe we should get back together. Maybe we should give it another go. Maybe we should try being in a relationship again. And so it's important not to put the cart before the horse here. And remember that it's not the commitment, it's not the relationship that gives you what you're probably after, which is the connection, the emotions, the feelings of closeness, and all of that you're looking for. It's actually the other way around. It's the connections and feelings of closeness that are actually going to naturally give rise to being in a relationship. So let's go for the feelings of connection and closeness and bonding and all of that good stuff, and let the relationship organically come out of that, rather than aiming for the relationship and hoping that all the other stuff comes with it. Because I mean, you probably know other people that are married or in relationships or something, but the spark just isn't there. They're still together, but the relationship is kind of hollow or dead. Maybe neither one of them has given up. Maybe they haven't broken up with each other, but there's just like nothing there. They're just kind of like putting up with each other. And that's not what I want for you. I don't think that's what you want for yourself either. So let's go for the connection and let the relationship follow rather than aim for the relationship and hope and pray that the connection follows. If you can make that shift, then there's probably a good chance that you can get back together with your ex too, because they're going to feel a whole lot closer to you once you're able to empathize and understand what they're feeling, and they're much more likely to be receptive towards actually working things out down the road once there's more of that emotional foundation in place. So once again, I hope that these 5 signs that you can get your ex back have helped guide you in some way. I hope that they've helped give you some clarity. And once again, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life. If you like what we're doing here, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, and think about subscribing to the channel if you're new here. If you're already subscribed, good on you. But if you're not, you might want to think about that. Do me a favor. You may also want to check out this series we put together on signs that you can get back together with your ex. Or you might want to check out this video over here. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you next time, and I hope you have a great